That's basically oscillating between one max and the next. So now, we need to adjust the PID now. It's a perfect window wiper. One to two, 1 to 2. Just put them all on 1 to 2 for a second. Is my PID gone? I kind of wish it... When it shows systems like this, when you get a complex system, it becomes very difficult to fathom what's what, you know? Let's try bringing that down. How's it going there?
I'm not sure what they're doing.
I'm not sure what they're doing either.
Who's they?
I'm here.
Semi and Whiteland.
Oh, somebody gone for lunch?
I'm here. I'll have to get this jet fuel unload hooked up and then I'll go and do lunch.
That's reacting smoother, but possibly not as quickly as it should. If the system's reacting too slowly, you need to turn up the proportional gain. Or turn up the gearing on the track. I think we need a 1-to-1 track ratio. I think we should control it from the PID instead. Is it a barnacle scraper? Lol. I think if we have 1-to-1, we get maximum speed out of the track. And then we just control it with the PID. That way we can react the quickest.
Do you want me to position it, Whiteland, or...?
Yeah, the gain's too low. The problem is, if you don't move the weight quickly enough, then the boat's like constantly doing this, and if you can't move it quickly enough, you end up reacting to something that has actually gone. Make that, say, 300. That's not bad. That's countering the roll pretty well. Oh no, I've pressed the wrong button. If you press E, you end up with the scuba gear. If you press the key next to it, R, you end up back in the workbench. You see how quickly that's moving across when it needs to. Now, I think the derivative needs to be higher, because if you see what's happening, when it goes to the maximum, it's like slamming into the edge. But if we increase the derivative, it'll kind of decelerate when it gets near the edge. But it's not bad. If you look at the pitch now. So the roll. Like, it was going between 10. If we turn it off and see what it looks like. Trouble is, we can't actually control the weather. So without any anti-roll, we're reaching 12, I think. Come on. This human weight model. It's a good question, I don't know. We're reaching 12 or so. Oh, that sounds like it's overreacting. I think it's working hard, but it's overreacting. You'd like to see how it works in a storm? Well, you need to get it right back at base before you take it out in a storm, I think. Let's make that 0.1. Bring that up a touch. I don't think the integral matters so much in this particular environment. Oh boy. That's gone crazy. It's gone crazy. Whoosh. Yeah, that's massively overreacting. Let's turn one thing down at a time. I'd say the gain is probably too high, to be honest.
Right, then if you go back up the hill and winch in.
Yeah, if it's too aggressive, it's your gain. It's such a balancing act. Wow, even then it's slam dunking around. It's like going whoosh, whoosh. How many days? I don't know. I built it up on stream over the last couple of weeks. The pet has no knowledge about how far the rails go, so if the weight is not enough to counter the roll, it will simply slam it to the end trying to compensate. I agree. I agree. But that's like saying a ped that's controlling the propeller speed of a drone has no idea about the altitude. All it's trying to do is influence a control that will affect the process variable that it's trying to meet. It tries to meet a process variable with a constant. In our case, we want the roll to be 0. It's trying to do that. And it does that by sending a number which it doesn't know what it does. It just influences a control. In this case, it moves things around. In a drone's case, it would spin up propellers. That's not really the point of it. So that's interesting. That's made it worse. Found GTA 4 at your grandma's house. For all you know, right? When you leave your grandma's, your grandma might love doing online RPG in GTA. She might be some like wealthy gangster in GTA RP, and you've got no idea. You turn up and she's, hello dear. And as soon as you go, she's like, I will make another 100 million. Just pointing out though, you never know. I do that all the time, Pharaoh. I control click. I don't know why people think I don't control click. I do.
Right, I'm gonna go and cook dinner.
Yay!
Okay.
You save it before you go.
Yeah, done.
You want garden data?
Message me if you need me, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
You don't think GTA Online has worked for years? Are you serious? Jeff Faviano seems to be doing alright. Infernal, thank you for 10 months. It's reacting late. See, it doesn't spend a lot of time in the middle. It basically goes from one extreme to another. Let's try making that low. Jeff uses 5mm GTA 5. He's on about... Oh, sorry, yeah, my bad. GTA 4, yeah. I thought you were GTA 5. Ignore me.
Where are you, Jack?
I've just popped into one of my creatives because I just had to test something I've been built.
Okay.
There you go. Now the integral's a
I
bit
didn't want
lower.
to drain the tiny amount of money we had left.
Behaving differently. It's reacting too slowly. If something reacts too slowly, it usually means that the integral has gone too big and the derivative the derivatives haven't had a braking effect on the integral. Because the thing about the integral is it gets bigger over time. So probably means that's too big. Mr. Eckthard, welcome back. Yeah, but the question is, like, why is it too slow? Like, what part of the system is making it slow? No, we've already seen that it can move that weight around pretty quickly. It doesn't feel very subtle at the moment, though. It feels like you get a tilt and the weight goes to the other side, and then it stays there too long, so it tilts that way. It's kind of slightly magnifying the roll effect. It's staying there too long. You see that? As soon as it's back at 0, it should really move back to the middle. And it's not doing that. It's not coming back to the middle quickly enough. What about a gyro? I'm not sure what you're suggesting. iPad. See how much more aggressively that moves now. It still feels like it holds on too long. Well, the prediction comes in from the derivative, Whiteland. That the future prediction is the derivative's job. Replace the weight with a gyroscope. Ah. Do you think that this game models gyroscopic momentum? My guess would be it doesn't.
People have built working gyroscopes. I don't know how they've built them, but it is an effect that can happen.
So if you spin up some mass, like, quickly enough, this game models the resistance a gyroscopic effect has.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
It does. I have a ship that has its own balance maintaining device, which is a spinning mass.
I need
But
to
there's
see that.
But there's also this jet plane thing that I downloaded recently from the workshop, and it has a gyro to keep it stable in flight.
That's behaving better.
But I'd have to load it into a creative to show you.
That's behaving way better. Just looking at the orientation of the ship, I can see it reacting to it. It's a little bit overreactive, but it's not bad. Would it possible to extend the width of routers to slam into the edges? Well, it still will. Unless you adjust your PID not to. The sea's a bit more aggressive at the moment.
I'm guessing Whiteland is still selling jet fuel.
Yep.
You can physically see it moving the boat. Look at it. Oh my god.
If we did a second run, we'd have enough to be able to buy that place over on the
Taipan,
mainland. And
I'm
still
not
have quite a bit left.
disputing that real boats have gyroscopes. You misunderstand. Personally, I'm disputing this game would support the effect of a gyroscope, you know, so that you could use it properly. My other problem is if you turn off the anti-tilt, how do you control the position of the weight? Does it, like, you want to be able to move that weight manually if you want to, I guess. I suppose you shouldn't need to if you get it set up properly.
I'm back.
Welcome
Hello.
back.
I'm up.
I mean, we could give it another block of movement space. We could add more weight. There's various options. Hey, Tobot. Is it compensating fast enough? That's the question. It seems to be moving fairly quickly. Let's give it a little more track room to begin with. give it more effect. Have you tried a PID controller? What, you mean the one that we've been tweaking for the last 20 minutes? This one? That's what we're trying to get right. Okay. That needs to be like that. I can now move the full length. See how that gets on. Yeah, the stabilizer fins don't work as well as you think now. Because, like, I remember when stabilizer fins, you could get a boat like this, you can put them in the water, turn the fins, and the whole thing would just lift out of the water. But now you get huge amounts of drag. Which is what should happen. It's still moving too aggressively. So it like slams into the edge of the ship, and that causes the ship to kind of move slightly. So we either need to bring the gain down, or we can turn the gearing down on the track, so that it can't move it as quickly. The right side looks heavier than the left. Should be mirrored.
Pops, are you over here still?
I know you can, Pepsi
here?
Max.
The main base.
I'm not.
No, but I can.
I'm not sure what point you're making though. That looks the same weight on both sides to me.
How may I help?
It's
Doesn't it make the
5 wide.
statue move?
It's mirrored.
It's moving for me.
It's not doing a thing for me. I can't make it move at all.
Let's bring the gain down.
It's just all the way to the left and fully extended.
Can you add a dampener? That's what the derivative is. The derivative, you need to go and understand what a PID does a bit more. But a derivative acts as a brake. It predicts the future, sees what's coming, and then acts as a brake on the integral, which would otherwise cause it to oscillate.
All I'm seeing there is a load of hose coming out, but the nozzle is actually staying at the top.
You can see it reaching maximum speed now. But it's still... I still think it's
I might
overreacting.
disconnect and reconnect quickly.
Okay.
Like, to me, what's happening is...
How much fuel do you want in this?
The
James?
bolt tilts one way, the weight comes to the other,
Just enough to get
it
around
stays
to the other
there
boat, so it
until
costs
it's
like
gone
1,000.
beyond 0, and then it comes back again. What should actually happen is, when the boat approaches 0, it should start moving back. So it's kind of not moving back as the boat approaches 0, which is like a derivative issue. It's not staying centered very long. It's basically going from one extreme to the other. It should be in the middle a lot more. Particularly in water like this where it's just bobbing the boat. It should be just making small adjustments.
Yeah, that should be fine.
The trouble is, if we limit the track speed, then we will lose a bit. In rougher water, we won't be able to move it quickly enough.
If you want to go, Jack, go. I'm going to go and make a sandwich quick.
You can come with
Make
me.
me one, Pops.
Yeah, which one in it, Paul?
Can I have corned beef and pickle?
That's exactly what I'm getting.
And
so
can you get a packet of salt and vinegar crisps and chuck it on top as well?
Sure.
Ew.
Jack's like, ew.
Jump in, Pops. I'll take you with me.
Right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I'm spending more time in the middle now. It's not going bang, bang, bang. It's basically like trying to compensate better. Let's see what it looks like on the sensor.
It's the sound of the police.
Oh.
Well, there you go. That just rolled up to like 50 plus, and with the anti-roll on. That C's getting choppy. The anti-roll on,
there.
it's keeping it under 25.
Ahoy!
So
How
now
goes the
it's now it
cell?
lost control and went to 50. So something just happened. Let's have a look.
It seems to be holding at about 350 a minute.
Nice.
It's staying in position too long.
Haven't seen the old boat in a while.
Smid, thank you for 40 months. Thank you for the good streams and content. Thank you, Smid.
We're gonna do another run after this.
I would have thought so. It's not going to be enough.
Especially if we want to get the get that island and then have some left over.
Yeah, basically.
It's 50, 60 for the harbour on Sawyer Island. 120 if you want the airbase.
No, Captain Flint. That just means you've got your PID incorrectly configured.
Well, haven't quite conquered trains yet, let alone flight.
Oh, we've got the.
So if you look at what the PID's outputs in, it's
Trained
basically
over there.
outputting the speed to the rail, isn't it? So it's going to about 1.7. About plus or minus 2 on the speed of the PID. It's doing all kinds of weird stuff right now. That's definitely unsettled it. Turn the gain up so it reacts quicker. Well, Bigfoot, if you have a system that can move a huge weight around, of course it can make it worse. If the system's doing the wrong thing. See, if you look now, because I dialed the gain up a bit, we're getting bigger numbers. No, there's just there's sensors up here. Still way too aggressive. See, somebody who knows a lot about PIDs will just go, oh yeah, you put this to this, that to that, and that'll fix that. Being able to move that weight quickly is good and bad.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
slamming the edges too much. That's what's causing the boat to rock. Danny, thank you for 15 months. There's a new game in an Axis called Mechanica. What's it about? See, when it hits the edge, it just causes the boat to go oof. The problem is it's not moving very far to make a difference in the angular momentum. I don't know. When it hits the edge, you can see it jolt the boat.
Be right back.
Okay.
I mean, we could make it move further out. In fact, why don't we do that, actually? I can always reconfigure the hull. Integral value may go off limits, so your derivative doesn't slow it down. The way it hits the edge before the desired position bar is reached. Correct. That's what I'm trying to fight with. If we want this thing to move further out, we can easily do it. Just need to delete a block. For science. For science, we shall see what that does. We'll give it all the angular movement it needs. Or if the sensors are too high on the boat. Well, the sensor's just detecting tilt. That's all it's really doing. Sure, tilt is greater there than it would be at the water level. Exactly. That's what you want. You want your sensor to be more sensitive. Like, if you put your sensor roughly where the center of mass is, you're going to get really bad roll. If you stick it further away from the center of mass, which is where everything rotates, you're going to start to get a lot more sensitivity in the sensor, which I like. Woohoo! It's doing crazy stuff now. Whoa! Yikes. Look at this. You see how it stays? It stays... This is interesting. You can actually see what it's doing a bit better now. When it gets to the edge of the boat, it stays there so long that it over-tilts the boat. What you need is for that thing to... As it approaches the edge, the boat is starting to level, it slows down and corrects itself. Right now, it's kind of oscillating. Is what's happening. Which means the derivative is not having enough effect. Mr. Sun, thank you for 13 months. This is not having enough an effect. So let's try raising it and see what happens.
I'm back.
Hello.
Welcome back.
What have you got?
Corned beef and pickle sandwiches with some
No
salt
crisps?
vinegar crisps. Yes, I got crisps as well.
Oh boy, I didn't get a diving outfit, I'm dying. Wait, I did get... No, I didn't. To me, it looks like integral multiplier is too high. It quite possibly is. It's still doing it. It's still overcorrecting the boat. You see that? What we want is for it to slow down. It should be on the center, really, a lot of the time, and then move over when it needs to. Motion of the game will only react after the boat has crossed the center line. Not strictly true. It should go down in number. Let's think. If that's too much, let's try making that smaller. We'll make that even less aggressive. I'm gonna grab my dive van outfit first. Still slam dunking a bit. Ouch. Why would that take half of
Guessing we're
my
doing
health?
the mission, Jack.
Yeah, figured as might as well. Give us something to do. I'd like to get some more of that research done as well.
That's made it worse.
Like the video equipment, which we still haven't done.
How many research points is it?
30. We've got 12.
The derivative needs to be much higher. The center needs to be at approximately the same difference in height as the weights with the water. I'm not sure I understand that last bit. Have you tried a negative number in the gain? Well, wouldn't that just invert the whole system? If we put a negative number in the gain, won't that just cause the speed of the thing to go the wrong way? So when it tilts to the right, it'll send the weight to the right, I believe. So what are you suggesting, Guangi? What is it, like the sensor's currently up here, and the center of mass is down there. The center of mass compared to the weight, it's about the same distance. I mean, I can put the tilt sensor down here somewhere. I'm not sure it's going to make any difference. Yeah, Vro. You forgot Whiteland, Vro? Let's bring the gain down and just see what happens here. Why do I keep crunching my legs when I jump on the ship? It's actually causing the boat to rock. It's actually set up its own oscillation. That was hilarious. You see that? It's actually oscillating. I mean, it stopped it slam dunking from one side to the other, but it's still not... It needs to be dampened a bit. It's overcompensating. Boat reacts too slowly once the weight goes to the limit of the track before the boat was moved enough. Maybe slow the speed of the track down, which is effectively what we just did by slowing down the by reducing the gain. We reduce the speed that the track moves, which is exactly what just happened. The only thing is, it's overshooting now, so we need to put the brakes on it. I thought that was enough derivative, to be honest. I would have thought that was plenty of derivative. A large change makes the effect more obvious, yeah. I mean, if we bring that down even more, the track will move even slower. And you probably need more integral, but then it might overshoot, so... Travel distance for Central Island, the weight has moved over 75% of the distance, it must be slowed down. You sound it's reacting too slowly now, I think. Because it reacts slightly too slowly now, as the water bobs the boat, it kind of sets up an oscillation. It's much travel distance from the side. Well, you can see how many blocks it goes over. See, I don't think that moves quickly enough now. Tricky. Very tricky this is. Tricky business. I mean, there is a certain mass to this, like you can't move it around instantly. I do like the way it centers though when the boat's still.
That didn't go well.
See that? It kind of holds steady when the boat's steady, which is good.
And we're done, 137k.
Ooh.
Nice. Now you can do like a full load of diesel on the next run. That
Diesel?
much money.
Jet A, surely.
Jet, that's what I meant, jet.
Jack, why
Yeah.
don't we just stop?
The engine overheated because the fuel, the seawater intake was out.
I might
of the
enable
water.
the other pid now and see how we're going.
Because of the weather, we were getting like lifted right into the air.
So are we just stuck now?
No, I'm letting it cool down, and then we'll move on again.
Got a tilt and a roll sensor set up, haven't we? Just need another pid.
See, the smoke coming out of the exhaust is very black.
Yeah.
That means the engine was slightly damaged.
Copy
by
that.
overheating.
100.01 and 10.
Well, here's hoping we can make it the rest of the way.
That's the pitch toggle. It's going to get the variable from tilt sensor. Which is the pitch. And this thing is going to control
Jack.
Did I just lose you?
Yes.
No. What are
Let's
you
see what
jumping
happens.
off the boat for?
I didn't. The waves took me.
You turn off fire switch and it
Maybe you
doesn't
should
stop where
sit
it is.
down.
I know, but that's another problem. Like, I need to have that switch when you turn it off. It needs to then
Go, go, go.
switch control to something else, which recenters. But I kind of feel
So
that
close to
you
the
don't ever want
destination.
to turn it off in a way. Because you've got this weight on the bottom of the boat that, well, the worst case scenario is you want it to at least be manual control.
Oh, hello.
That's not moving forwards and backwards.
Toot toot to you as well.
Lol.
I don't have a horn. Whoa, getting a bit of lift there, aren't you?
It's empty.
Oh my good god.
That's not
I
right.
thought you was gonna flip it then.
Yeah.
Why is the weight at the back?
Empty and rough seas. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh god. I felt like we're going to be rescuing you in a
The
minute.
sense the wrong way around, it could be. Could well be trying to compensate the wrong
We
way.
keep getting lifted out of the water, and so our cooling
Okay.
intake
Let's
keeps
try
getting taken
flipping
out
the
of the water,
sense around.
so the engine is really overheating.
Yeah, I'm hoping this will stay in the sea long enough that that won't happen.
I can only do 20 knots now. One of these days, I'll have to get my my racing boat version of this out.
There we go. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. It's like dynamically moving this weight around. What I could do is spawn it with some weight at the front and see what it does.
Are you going to be putting a shroud over that pool, or just leaving it open to the water?
Jack, if I ever get this thing working, I'll make a decision on aesthetics.
Fair enough.
Right, I'll just spawn.
Welcome back, Nutter.
Excuse me, I didn't have time to press the mute key. Oh boy.
Bless you.
Thank you. We're gonna spawn some water in because that's nice and heavy. Put it right at the front of the boat, which will make it tilt forward. Which means the weight should, when we turn this thing on, the weight should immediately move to the back. So currently the weight's at the front.
Nearly there.
We'll see what it does. Well, we know the weight's going the correct
Hold
way.
on.
It tried to
Let me get
compensate for that.
ladder.
It's getting caught on the what? On the prop. Do you mean back here? Or do you mean the azimuth?
What?
What?
Yeah. So
As-
the person on my shoulder just lagged, teleported into the sea, and then the mission failed.
Lol.
Aw.
Lol.
Well, that's the end of that mission then.
Rip.
I'm going to teleport the boat back.
Okay.
As it's damaged, it didn't have much fuel left in it anyway.
Yeah, I know why. It's because the center is here. And the weight is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks in front of it.
Well,
So
we can
yeah,
deliver a seismic
you want it to
sensor.
be like,
You'll need the other
you
bone.
want the rail to end like probably here maybe.
Is this the one that sits on top of the? It's on the oil rig, and we've got to drop it down into the ocean.
I can't remember.
The problem is
if
side
it is,
because the
then-
lateral movement's so big now, it'll actually crunch into these as well.
I'm not sure if we'll actually be able to do it without the boat. Oh, I know which one this is. It's the one you have to lift via the. So I don't think we'll be able to do it.
I want to hit the rudder. Yep, it's going to hit all kinds of things.
Happy anniversary, Nata.
Just realised Paul's not even in our game.
Well, I didn't really see there was much point joining me just yet while I'm editing this.
That's fair enough.
I will jump in soon, because this thing's going to need testing soon.
Yeah.
That's overcompensating massively now, look at it. That is not reacting. The derivative's really bad on that. That's not reacting to the boat at all.
Happy anniversary, Nata.
Sommy, you're going to do a full load, take all the cash again.
Blinks, thank you for 57 months.
What was that? Sorry, Jack?
I said, you're going to do a
Muffins, thank you
full
for
load
28.
and take all the cash again.
Because it added a lot of weight,
Um,
exactly.
Well, I'm just about here ready to load up, but the
So
weather
because
is
it added a
such
lot of
that
weight,
we
it probably wants to
sleeped
move it
up with
around
that
quicker.
process.
So we'll bring the
Yeah.
gain up.
A sleep would be good.
Maybe put that on.
Yeah, in a bed.
Me too.
No, hang on.
Let's try that. Well, I don't know if it's exponentially Gwangi. I really don't know about that.
I'm in a bed.
I mean, it increased the
Sleeping?
gain so it can. It's got more
Yeah.
grunt to move it.
Must be white and then.
I increased the
get in
derivative
the
so
bed.
that it can predict the future better, but it's still. It's still hitting the edge hard and not reacting enough. It's not slowing it down enough.
So
Right,
Whiteman's in a bed, but I don't think he's sleeping.
Is he AFK?
I don't know. He hasn't said anything. Ha!
Lol.
Well, give him a minute, and if he doesn't react, I would just quit the game. Because you can't kick him. Oh, maybe
What
you
you-
can now. Try it. Question mark kick
Yeah.
space number.
They added all that.
Works on the Deddy.
Worth a try.
See, these derivatives shouldn't be this high, though. That's my problem.
Is Whiteland 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lol.
It
That
works.
does indeed work.
Cool. There you go. Because if he goes AFK and you can't sleep, you just have to kick him till he comes back.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that or sleep a bit more? 'Cause
We
it's
can do that,
pretty
but there's
stormy
still a storm going on, so let's sleep some. Okay, it's dying down now.
Yeah, okay.
It's still
It's
like
not as windy as it was,
overreacting.
at least, even if it is raining.
If we start to empty the front ballast. Front ballast empty. That weight should start moving forward. So that's working way too aggressively now. Are you sure it's not trying to overturn the ship like the sensor's being installed upside down? It's just it's a tilt sensor, so it measures against the horizon.
AFK sec.
It doesn't matter, Lotus, because the fact is that if I, this boat has got big storage areas in it, and if I can't get this to work with the front ballast in place, then I can't get it to work with storage liquid either. I've got to test it with weight on, with weight off, and in rough and calm seas. No, Simple Jack, because if you only allow it to move a bit, it can't affect the boat. If you think about where the center of mass is, then as the weight moves away from it, it starts to cause the boat to rotate. It causes like a torque effect on the boat. And the further away you do it, the more torque it has. That's a block? What was that? Is there any PID experts in chat? How do we stop it from overreacting? Well, Maruk, the problem is it's doing too much. It's working too hard. And the weight, as the boat approaches level, the weight doesn't start moving back. It waits till the boat gets level, and then it goes too far, and then it starts moving back again. So it's not working properly. Decrease the first and increase the third. Has that weight gone forward yet? Let's bring that back down to 100. A derivative of 50 just seems massively high to me.
What are you up to, pups?
Just in a workshop experimenting.
Interesting. Did you want to come with me to get this drone?
I can do you.
I'm back at main base, just finishing fueling.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
Can't tell how calm the water is now.
Can't
Tempted
believe
the
how many jobs we've had to end up doing in this speedboat that really wasn't meant for it.
Thank you for 5 months, Chris. Happy anniversary, sir.
Wow, thanks, pups.
Back, Natter.
Okay, on my screen, Jack, he wasn't connected.
Can you put me down?
Yeah.
Lol. There you go, you can take it now.
I just teleported again, see if that fixes it.
Oh, hang on. There you go.
Yeah, this ain't synced for me.
Well, I don't know, Captain Golf. It depends how sensitive your tilt thing is, I guess. Like, if you get this right, it should be more or less like that. Well, you got a bonus one, Chris. You could try running the output through a divide block and divide the output to a set number using constant number blocks. The speed can be high, but the effect lower. Isn't that the same as changing the track gear ratio? So the track moves slower.
For your environment mod, Jack.
Yeah.
Put some ladders down the oil refinery walls.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Whoa.
good idea.
So you haven't got to
Whoa,
keep
that's
going all the way to
overreacting.
the end.
I can hear
I
that
could do
doing
the
some
same thing on
crazy
the home
stuff.
harbour as well.
I mean, I could just fix that by building the radio, but I haven't got around to it.
Yeah. I keep meaning to do one as well.
That's
The whole reason
hilarious.
why we unlocked the keypads and radio stuff.
Yep.
Ah, well.
It's definitely staying there too long, though. That's the problem with it at the moment. Like, it reacts to the war. Like, the boat moves and it reacts properly. Happy with that. The weight stays there too long, though. And that sets up an oscillation. It overcorrects. Have a look at a video of the guys using 10.0.1000 on the PID. On a slightly bigger boat. Wow, do you know what? I didn't realize the derivative should be like that. That's interesting. Okay, let's try a bigger derivative. 10.0.1000. So yeah, he's pretty much come to the conclusion I've come to. Integral's not really what you want. I mean, we'll try his numbers and see what happens, right? 10.0.1000. I would have thought that derivative was way too much, but we'll see.
I'm not sure, but I think that video, the first one was 10.0.10,000, and then he did it as 1 and 1,000. I could be wrong, though.
He did it as 1.0.1000.
Yeah. The first attempt he did, it was 10.0.10,000, I think. And then he ended up with like 1.0.1,000, and I think he went back to 2.0.2,000. But his boat was much more bigger.
I think the water's gone calm, I'm not sure. Good morning, Dredge Jones. I think the water's a bit too calm now. We're not really getting a good test. That's better. Now we've got some choppy waters and we can see it's not really doing a great deal, is it?
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
I can see it, like, trying to counter the weight. See, look at that. The boat's like this and the weight's like that, but it's not heavy enough to bring the ship back, look. So it's trying its best. I don't think there's enough weight block, though, for it. It can't exert enough angular momentum on the boat. It's trying to do the right thing, it just can't affect the system enough. Billy Hall, I think 56. I wish they did like super dense blocks, you know, blocks that were 10 times heavier.
Scuba.
But it's having a good crack, it's not
Tell me
bad.
when.
Okay.
Make the counterweight of depleted uranium. Sadly, we've only got one block. Let's see what happens if we put another row on this.
Is that enough rope yet?
Nope.
See what it does.
Not even sure.
Could
if
always
that's-
attach an extra large battery to it.
Oh, got a fallen in. Oh, it's just coming down slowly.
Big batteries solve all problems.
Lol. More power.
There's a shark swimming around you, just so you know.
Okay.
Those connectors take a long time to sync.
It's interesting watching it work. It's really fun. Too heavy, the ship will sink. Yep, it's already a bit heavy. I would say the front to back pid is not moving quickly enough. I can see the front to back doing this, and that weight is not moving anywhere near as quickly as it should. I'm not sure if
You're
increasing
so
the derivatives is the
close.
right thing, Langers. I think certainly the case of front to back, the
I might have to come up and change oxygen.
pitch
tank.
pid, which is that one. I would probably make that a bit more aggressive. Just try
I'll
making
grab
that
some
like
gear and
40
out
so
with
it
ya.
moves quick. It's gonna have to move quicker. It's got 4 times the
I'll
length
grab
as the
front of
width.
the drone. See if, whoa,
It's
what's
got to
that?
move faster.
It's a hole in the side of it.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah, I spotted that today.
I'm bringing the drone up. You bring the cable down, and we'll see where we meet.
Try doubling that one. Make it a bit more reactive and see what happens. The sensors are all right on the top of the cockpit here. The sensors are right there. You can't see them.
That was so close.
And the weight's moving around much quicker.
Is that all the cable?
Jack, what if you took the boat forward?
And we do seem to have moved back a bit. That's full cable as well.
Why do you need perfect balance? Because it kind of, I kind of find it fun trying to make a system that does that.
Happy anniversary.
You're never going to make something that stays perfectly still in water, but having something that gets pretty close is kind of fun.
Hey.
USMC Vet, thank you for 32 months. How's the rig? Rig's looking pretty good.
I'll switch that in a bit.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
You just launched.
I just saved it.
But the display is somewhere to display the error from the PID, so you can see how far it is off. I am outputting one of the PIDs, which is the roll PID. We are outputting its value there, but it's not the
Yeah, I need to make
error
an
necessarily.
adjustment
It's the
to this so you
instruction
can
to
get it out
the
easier.
track. Some 1-to-1.
Welcome back, Nutter.
I think that should be enough.
Sheepdog, welcome back.
Yep, looks good.
Let's get moving.
It's quite stormy water now. Whoa, that is aggressive. That is aggressively trying to compensate. Look at that.
What was that thing you had as a kid that used to put a pencil in and like spin it round in the cog? It looks like that.
Wait, what?
You know when you used to like draw pretty patterns and stuff like that?
Oh,
It used to sort of
Spirograph.
go round and round. Is it a spirograph?
Yeah,
Yeah.
spirograph.
If you put a pen on that, that'd be what it would be drawing.
You can graph that out if you write up a script.
Oh.
well, that's some pretty choppy water it's fighting with the... That's where the PID output's over here. For the roll, anyway. It's probably smashing the battery. Actually, that's not so bad. We turn that off. Almost if we turn it off, the weight doesn't go to a defined position.
Welcome back, Whiteland.
We just have to try it at sea and see how it gets on. Just take it out and see what happens. It's quite a bit better when it's on. That's the thing, is it's hard to notice right now. Let's try and make the underside look a little bit pretty, and we'll give it a sea trial. I don't know if there's any benefit in having this thing here, to be honest. Doesn't really do anything. It's going to create drag. The all-important test drive. We don't believe in test drives. We do live testing. That means we buy a critical amount of fuel and then we go and make sure we get there with it. Try a higher sensor location.
We've never done that, Paul.
Never. The problem with the higher sensor location is I can't get much higher than this. This is the top of the ship. Where am I going to put it unless I put it out on a big stick? What have we got in terms of stick?
Could put it on top of your
Rod.
air in.
What have you got? Is there like a pointy, like a metal aerial type thing that you could use and then put the sensor on top?
No,
You
you'd have
could
to just use
use-
pipe.
You could use either pipe or you could use railing because they stack on top of each other.
Railing segment end. Do they not join? We could put the horn on top as well. Yeah, exactly. Just build a mast and put it up. Wait, what's the piece that goes in
Wait.
between?
Oh, that's not where I wanted to park.
Jack.
Um,
Extension, diagonal, incline.
it's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, we built a ladder.
You can see the underside of the boat now. Let's have a look. Is there any other missions?
There's no
there's
wire,
not.
is it? You can't like put
And we
wires
still
down
need
and make it
another
like it's
12 points.
strapped down.
Do you want to sleep then?
That'd be cool.
There's beds here, aren't there, pups? I'm sure
There
there's
should
beds
be, yeah.
up at the research centre. At least the boat won't float away.
Let's do that. Rope. I don't think they have rope, do they? No. No such luck.
Yeah, his son.
Well, if you want a
I'm gonna
rotating radar baz, then you need to have a
I'm sleeping.
what's it called? A compact
but
velocity
sleeping.
pivot is one of these things. You need to have one of those. So if we put like a couple of blocks on top like that.
Can't do that.
No, we can't.
We put like that.
Not till Paul builds us a nice big cargo chopper.
Nice.
Heavy lift sky crane. Now that one we can do.
Oh,
That one. And you're on site, aren't you?
Oh, would help if I
Aesthetics.
actually set it as active.
Oh no,
That
that's
would
a
take
different, that's a
care of
swimmer, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one where you need to dive down and get the guy, isn't it?
Yeah. This one's a bit of distance. Hey, look, it stayed there.
I mean, at least it's easy to get on now.
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
bit fancy. Oh, some people have done crazy stuff on Stormworks.
Right, let's try and get off of this. Helps if I turn the brake on.
So how do we want to make a radar? Just using blocks. Is there a nice block you can use, Jack, for radar? Like a spinny radar thing? Just use standard blocks, or is there something nicer?
You could actually put a radar dish on it.
We haven't got it unlocked. Oh, have we? Hang on.
I'm sure we've got it unlocked.
Yeah, I'm sure we have.
Holy heck, that's massive.
Don't use the big one, use the small one.
I just went for radar dish. I didn't click on large.
No, go for the radar dome.
Lol.
Yeah, but then you can't see it spinning properly.
If you want to make a proper spinning bar one, then just use a block left and right, and then an angled block left and right to give it the effect.
Wait, what? Say that again.
So you use the pivot you've got down at the moment,
Yeah.
the constant velocity one. You put a block left and right of it, and then an angled block left and right to give it that nice look of swishing around.
Okay.
And then you want to set the gearing to the one before maximum gearing. And you get the right speed too. Why are we moving? Oh god.
Doesn't sound good.
I think that might have been a lag issue.
We can go with something like that.
That was awesome.
Actually see that spinning.
Once we unlock monitors, you can actually connect that up to a screen and have working radar.
Didn't
look
you
good.
mean actually build a bar radar, Jack?
Huh?
Did you mean actually build like a bar one? Of
That's what he wanted, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
not just put the dome one on the top for spinning pivot.
The dome one's the one that actually works. That is the radar in game. But if you want to make like a visual one only, then it would be like a bot, yeah, a bar.
Getting bogged down on the aesthetics here.
Unlike you to worry about the small things, Paul.
Lol.